We have discussed decision tree and the different type of impurity measures. So now today you need to solve some problems because I just got to know that you had already data mining subject in your last semester, in your first semester. So you have already acquainted with all the terms. Okay, like this because Vidyut Patra sir has already taken these subjects, data mining. Yes or no? Hmm?
Have any subjects like that.
You had data mining subject na last semester?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So means you're well equipped with different techniques that I am discussing. So that's why I thought that I need to skip little bit of portion of decision tree and I can concentrate some other part. So that's why. So this is the today is the last part. You just solve this problem, then I'll start this overfitting and underfitting. Okay. Model overfitting and the model over underfitting. How you are going to handle it. Okay. First, you just solve this problem. First, you just write it down, or what you can do. No need to write this table. You just write it down. These two things first. Then I'll come back to the table. Then you have to solve it. Compute the Gini index for card type attribute using multi-way split, or computing the Gini index for the gender attribute. First, write down the questions. Then I'll come back to the table. Then once seeing the table, you can compute. लिखा So did you note it down? Huh?
Yes, sir. Written down.
Okay. Now this is the table. Just tell me the answer.
So for car type attribute, it is 0.5. Hello.
Yes.
So Gini index for car type attribute is 0.5.
And for the gender,
So gender, so calculating that, sir.
you calculate करो.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So the Gini index for car type is 0.64.
Okay. You solve for both the questions, then I'll show you the answer.
So for gender also it is coming out 0.5.
0.64 I'm getting.
Yes, sir.
The overall Gini for the gender is 0.5. That is correct, absolutely. And for this, the overall Gini for is 0.1625. The same process that I am applying, that whatever I taught you in the last class. You see the multi-way split the way that we have done. अच्छा इसको करो. Sort size attribute. Sort size attribute. Wow.
Sir, it is coming 0.78.
Let me check.
0.48.
Yes, I think 0.49 something. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good, good. So simply using just formula and the calculation. That's. I just wanted to know this whether you went through this PPT or not, and whether you were able to solve this problem or not. Because in exam, so if you have to appear for this physical exam, then this type of problem that I will give you, and mostly the numerical problems that you can get. So in my paper, in email paper, so that's why this practice is important. So now these are the next one. So these are the different instances and these are the target class. So you first write down this. First write down these questions, then I'll come back to the table. Okay. Do you note it down?
Yes, sir.
Everyone has noted down, now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this is the table. The second question is a little bit tricky. A long calculation is required. anyone have solved this?
Sir, 0.99.
For the first one?
Yes, sir.
Very good. 0 point, it is 0.9911.
Yes, yes.
Now, what are the information gain of A1 and A2?
Sir, that I am solving.
Okay, solve, please.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Okay.
0.2294.
Let me check. Yes, for the A1 is 0.2294.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you have to again compute for A2.
Yes, sir. A2.
Then then the information mail for A2 is.
Mm.
So these are the process. Huh? Okay, so somehow you managed to do this thing. Very good. So those who have not been completed, so please see. And then otherwise, that is, you will just do this more practice. So the example that has been taken from, if you see the chapter number 4 for this book, there's a introduction to data mining. So from this example, okay. Anyway, now we'll start another things. That is called this underfitting and overfitting in machine learning. Okay, so it means that suppose a model, because you are going to apply some machine learning algorithm to develop your model, which will be useful for either in classification purpose or in the prediction. Okay, but when you are going to do this kind of things, so you can face two occurrences. Okay, one is called this underfitting occurrences, another is called the overfitting occurrences. So now a model is said to be I mean, in general, a good machine learning model. When you said that this model, one model is said to be a very good machine learning model, if it has got this generalization ability. Okay, I mean, if it generalizes any new input data, okay, from the problem domain in a proper way. Okay, because if the model has got the ability, generalization ability, okay, for any input data which is coming from the problem definition, so it can be classified, okay, in a proper way. So this will help you to make prediction in the future of data also. Okay, and this future data which you have not been seen, or the model has not been seen. So if you are so always, whenever you are going to develop a machine learning model, so you have to keep in mind that the model will have the generalizations ability. I mean, although the model does not see it, but this model will have the ability to classify it in a proper way. And you want to check that how well our ML model, that is learns. So that is your objective, how your ML model learns and generalizes to the new data. Okay, and whenever you are going to do these things, now you are encountering these overfitting and underfitting problems, which are majorly responsible for the poor performance of the machine learning algorithm. Okay, means if you going to have a poor performance, so this is because of the overfitting and underfitting of these things. So now there is a two things which involved in overfitting and underfitting. One is called the bias, another is called the variance. Okay, so now bias, actually it is a difference between the average prediction of our model and the corrected value which are training to predict. That is called the bias. Okay, so now it is actually a difference between the average prediction of our model and the correct value which you are trying to predict. So that is called the bias. Now what is variances? So it is the variability of a model prediction for a given data point. It is the variability of a model prediction for a given data point or a value which tells you this what is the spread of our data. Okay. Now, if you have a model with high variance, okay, there is two things. One is called this high variance and the high bias. Now, if the model with high variance, then it attracts a lot of attention to training data. Okay, and it does not generalize on the data which it has not seen before. So if you have a high variance, now if you have the high bias, if the model with high bias, then it attracts a very little attention to the training data and it oversimplifies this model. Okay, and it will always lead to you a high error on training and test data. Okay, now that is the things that we'll see. Now we'll see one by one. There is an underfitting and overfitting. But bias and variance, it plays a very important role in understanding this underfitting and overfitting. Then why it is called the bias variance trade-off. That is also you need to know after understanding this underfitting and overfitting. Okay. Now it is a statistical model or a machine learning algorithm is said to have a underfitting when it cannot capture the underlying trend of the data. I mean, if it is fails to predict this data, okay, it fails to predict. That is a call this underfitting. Okay, and underfitting, when you encounter underfitting, it destroys the accuracy of our machine learning model that I already told you, and its occurrence that simply means that our model or the algorithm that you have applied does not fit the data well enough. Okay, if we have seen the linear regression problem and multiple regression problem that you have already seen, if you have some data point in two-dimensional Euclidean space, and if a linear equations y is equal to, that is a beta naught plus beta 1x, if the plus epsilon summation, if it is does not fit this data that you are using, then you are attract this underfitting problem. It usually happens when we have a very less data. Okay, we have a less data to build an accurate model, and also we try to build a linear model with a non-linear data. So that is very important. Suppose if you are going to fit a linear model with your non-linear data, then obviously it attracts the underfitting problem. Okay, so these are the situations where you may arise. Okay, that will be underfitting problem. So now, in such cases, that the rules of machine learning models are too easy and it is flexible to be applied on such minimal data. So therefore, this model will probably make a lot of wrong predictions. So obviously, if your data are less, okay, and if you are applying a model, I mean the linear model, and which are not too easy, and it is flexible to apply on such minimal data, so this model will probably make a wrong prediction. So now underfitting can be avoided by using more data. So now you can avoid this underfitting by using more data and also reducing the features by the feature selection. So these are the ways that you can avoid this underfitting. So now underfitting means high bias and low variance, then it is called underfitting. If you have the high bias and low variance, okay, high bias means the model with high bias, it pays very little attention to the training data and it oversimplifies this model, and it always lead to a high error on training and test data. So that is why if you have the high bias and if you have the low variance, then it is simply an underfitting problem. Now, how do you reduce this? So these are the possible solution or possible methods that people can follow, okay, to reduce this the underfitting problem. Like this, increase this model complexity. First one, increase the number of features and performing the feature engineering. Okay, feature engineering means feature selection. Okay, now you have to remove the noise from the data. Next one is you have to increase this number of epochs. You have to increase this number of epochs, or you have to increase this duration of threading to get the better results. So in this way, you can, avoid this or this underfitting, or you can reduce this underfitting. Next is overfitting. Now overfitting means a statistical model that is said to be, or any machine learning model is said to be overfitted when you train it with a lot of data. Okay, with a lot of data. And when a model is essentially gets trained with so much of data, then what it does, it starts learning from the noise. Okay, because if you feel that your data are perfect and all the data are perfectly modeled, so model means it is a mathematical equation simply. It may be a linear model or a linear equation, it may be a non-linear model. You means you have a quadratic equations. Okay, so it is a model simply. Now if you feel that if all data are trained properly with your model, it means that you may attract some noises also. Okay, so it starts learning from the noise and inaccurate data entries in your data sets. So that is a very more likely to get, and you can have the possibility to get this type of situations. And this model does not categorize the data correctly because you have these too many details and noise. Okay, now if you situation this case, because your objective is to fit a model, fit the data with a proper model, but you are saying that your all the data are perfectly fitted. That does not necessarily mean that these all the data points have been modeled by all the data points have been fitted with a proper model. So some noises or some unwanted informations also be included. Now in that situation, it does not categorize the data correctly. It means that which one is the noise and which one is the actual data. So because of too many details and noise. The causes of overfitting are actually these non-parametric and non-linear methods. Because obviously you need to have a curved linear shape of like this method, or do you have model? Then because this type of ML algorithms have more freedom in building the model based. Okay, building the model based on the dataset. So therefore, you can really build a unrealistic model. So this is the things. Now, what are the solutions to adapt? The solution to avoid overfitting is you have to using a linear algorithm if you have a linear data, or using a parameters. Okay, like the maximal depth if you are using a decision tree. So these are the solution that is we are following. That is a solution to avoid the overfitting is using a linear algorithm if we have the linear data, or using the parameters like this maximal depth that we can have if you are using a decision tree. I mean linear algorithm, it is a linear algorithm or the linear classifier. So to avoid this overfitting. So now overfitting means this is a high variance and low bias. So this is called this overfitting, and these are the structure. Okay. So now, so high bias, that is a underfit, that is a the size and price if you have. Then high bias also you have this underfit if you have it's a curved linear. Then high variance. Then obviously that is you have that is an you are seeing that all the data are perfectly fitted. It means some noises are also there. Now there is an underfitting, that is a too simple to explain the variance. Okay, and actually it is an appropriate fitting. Okay, that is obviously some noises are there which is actually not, there's a cross and dot are there, so it is an appropriate fitting that you can have. The next one is called the overfitting, that you can see the overfitting, that is a too good to be true. Okay, so these are the differences this type of problem. Okay, so now how to reduce this overfitting problem. Now you have to increase the training data, reduce this model complexity. Okay, next one is this early stopping criteria. Okay, early stopping during the training phase, and it means that you have to check the loss over the training. Okay, then as soon as the loss begins to increase, this to stop training. Next you have the ridge regression and the lasso regression. Okay, or you can have the ridge regularizations or this lasso regularization. So actually these are this extended version of the regression technique. So here, so in the regression we are using some the error term, some constant term. So in the constant term also you can use it. That is a this is a ridge regression and this ridge regularizations and the lasso regularization. Then you can use the dropout, for your network to tackle this overfitting problem. Okay, so now actually there is a concept is called bias variance trade-off. So the why is bias variance trade-off? So if our model is too simple, if your model that you have developed is too simple and has very few parameters, then it may have high bias and low variance. If your model is too simple and has very few parameters, then it may have high bias and low variance. On the other hand, so now if your model has large number of parameters, then it is going to have a high variance and low bias. So you need to find a good balance. We need to find a good balance without overfitting and underfitting. So that is your job. So that's why it is called the trade-off. So when the trade-off, so you can have, that is a bias variance trade-off. Okay, so you have to take care of it. That is a means whenever you are going to solve, because whenever you are going to just develop a particular model, whether it is a linear model or it is a non-linear model for your classification job or the prediction, then you need to see that how we are going to handle it. So the overfitting and underfitting, it is mostly occurs in different places. In this is a now you have to tackle this problem, and first you have to understand this problem. If in your model produces high variance and low bias, then it is a simply overfitting problem. But if it is a high bias and low variance, then it is simply a underfitting problem. So this is the basic things that is just wanted to discuss. Okay, so this the decision tree, that is a very interesting things, but I just got to know that you had already a data mining subject, and yeah, you had already appointed with the algorithm for this ID3 C 4.5. I mean, then so that is why I'll not discuss all these things, because if I invest more time, then I'll miss out to discuss deep learning. Okay, so I'm just trying to complete it as soon as possible, because 12th of March is the last day of teaching. So we have 3, 6, 8 to 9 lectures are left. Okay, So next class I'll start with k-means clustering algorithm. Although this you had also the k-means algorithm and DB scan or other things that I already talked to Vidut Pathusai. So you had a Acha, can you just tell me in clustering that how much Sarah has covered in the last semester? Because I'll not do the same thing again and again. Can anyone just tell me? In data mining course, in clustering, how much it was covered? Anyone?
So actually we don't have
I
data mining.
Huh?
We don't have subjects data mining.
You don't
Yes,
have
sir.
why?
Sir, in last sem we didn't have data mining course.
Means you didn't have the choice to take, or it was not a
Sir,
compulsory
it is
choice?
only for computer science, the CS student, not for information security.
Okay, okay, okay.
And software engineering.
Okay, it was only for computer science. Are you
Yes.
sure? So it was elective subject or it was a compulsory subject?
It was not in the elective also.
Sir, previously we didn't get any electives. So
So
all
it
the
was a
subjects.
compulsory. No? So if it is a compulsory, because this machine learning is a compulsory for all the branches. Okay, because CS or computer science, information security and software engineering, all the students are studying. So similarly for the data mining also this
No,
since
no, sir. Actually, data mining was not compulsory.
okay, only this
Data
computer
mining
science
was
student.
an elective subject.
Yes, sir. It was elective, sir.
Okay, that's why I'm asking you, whether it was elective subject or it is a compulsory. If it is elective, then you may not opted it. Okay, so you might have opted some. Anyway, so definitely, so I have to cover. There's a algorithm of the k-means algorithm, DB scan, and all other things. How to find the dendrogram, because in the clustering there is an important thing is called the dendrogram. Okay, if a data set is given to you, then from the data set in the clustering, how can you find the dendrogram? Agglomerative clustering algorithms. In the agglomerative, I'll just because DBC I will not touch. So there's a two types of clustering algorithm. One is called the hierarchical, another is a non-hierarchical clustering algorithm. So in this non-hierarchical, that you have there is a DBC and there is a agglomerative clustering. In the agglomerative clustering, you have single linkage, complete linkage, and average linkage. So these things that I'll cover, and along with these things, so I'll cover this DB scan. Okay. Then the rest of the things, if you know these concepts of the clustering, because tomorrow's class will be attached with some assignment, because in Wednesday lab you have to do assignment, same assignment for the river and non-river class. You'll have to come back. You have to come back for the you have the river and non-river class. Then you have to apply the k-means clustering algorithm. Obviously, steps the same way the steps will be given to you. Step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, and you need to apply a k-means algorithm, and you have to choose k is equal to 3, k is equal to 4, k is equal to 5. Then that many clusters that you have to form. It is not only the river and non-river class. You may have the different clusters. So based on the homogeneous region of the river region, or it is a non-river, you have to cluster them. So that is very interesting thing. And each region you have to be marked with different colors so that we can evaluate it. Whenever we'll evaluate it, so we will be able to see. So clustering is a very important thing. That is it's a very popular method. You need to know the basic mathematics. So I'll start with basic mathematics. Again, I'll have to write it in the Wattpad, okay, in the Word documents, so that you'll be able to see. So without mathematics clustering, that you need to, because you need to understand this is a basic things. Basic means there is a distance-based technique because similarity measurement within cluster, within clusters distance and the between clusters distance. Okay, so these are the things that you need to understand. Very interesting. Then next week, this week probably I will complete. If I take class on Saturday, then 3 classes are enough for. Then I'll start a hidden Markov model. So that is a very interesting thing which will be taught. Acha, in computer science, those who had the data mining, so hidden Markov model was introduced or not? HMM. HMM was introduced or HMM was taught. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hidden Markov model was taught or not? Or it was not discussed in data mining course, HMM? Have you heard the name HMM?
Sorry, sir.
Have you heard this name, hidden Markov model?
Yes, yes.
So anyway, so that's all for today. So I'll again we'll again meet on tomorrow from 8 to 9. Okay.
Sir, you're saying some assignments.
Yes, assignment means for the clustering assignment that I'll give it to you. And also probably on 12th, 12th of March, I'll take on class test. The class test may be for 30 marks, 30 multiple choice questions. So give it to you. So I'm keeping it on Friday. Last day your teaching is on Friday. So Friday from 10 to 11. So you have to give the class test, online class test, because everyone will not get the same questions. It will be shuffled. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
And it is for all MTech, PhD, and
everyone MTech 3 specializations along with the executive PhD student and the normal PhD student also. This is a internal.
all the syllabus will be covered or any specific topic?
All the syllabus. 30,
Okay.
30 marks questions, all will be MCQ, and I mean out of this 30, because it is a 20 marks evaluations. 20 marks TA is there for your case. Rest 80 you will have to appear for exam.
Okay, sir. 12th March, 10 to 11.
Please mark your calendar. Okay, 12 March will be your class test. Okay, see you on tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.